Have you heard of Patrick Mahomes, the NFL quarterback who has won 3 Super Bowls already and he's still in his 20s? Have you heard about Patrick Mahomes? Have you heard of his wife, Brittney Mahomes? They have 2 beautiful children, but they have built a significant amount of wealth, not just because of Patrick Mahomes' salary, but they also have a net worth of $70 million already. And I looked into what they actually do because a lot of NFL players or professional athletes make a lot of money and then they lose it. Or they think, hey, I make a few $1,000,000 a year. I'm going to buy a $1,000,000 house. I'm going to buy whatever clothes I want, etc. And they buy all the things and they don't actually do what wealthy people do, right? They might have a high salary, but it's not just about having a high salary. And so I'm going to talk in this video about some of the things that Patrick and Brittney Mahomes do with their money, the assets that they have that will help them to be rich for their lifetime. All right, so Patrick Mahomes is actually doing a few things that rich people and wealthy people talk about. So you want to have a good income, right? So that you can then fund those assets. You don't just want to have a high income. If possible, you want to fund assets. And so he also lives below his means. And so firstly, he makes $45 million every single year. That's his salary. Now, how much is his house worth? Because houses, cars, and food are typically the 3 big expenses for most people. And so he makes $45 million. Does he have a $45 million house? No. They have under a $2 million house. It's like 1.75 or something, and it's their dream house. And so that is significantly below their means, right? And so then they have money to do other things with and to buy more assets. So a critical tip here, he makes great money, yes. And so if you can work on increasing your income, that will help you. But then he lives below his means, and they also didn't spend too much on a house. You might be saying, Elizabeth, well, he makes $45 million. Of course, he's not spending a lot more. But honestly, if you look at a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes, they do spend more. Like if they make $45 million, a lot of them will spend close to that on certain things or will go into significant debt. And so even though you might say, well, he makes a lot of money, yes. But remember, just because you make a lot of money, a lot of people make a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that they still live below their means. So I will give him a couple extra points for living below his means. Number 2, he found what he loved to do. And so he loves football. He loves the game. And a lot of wealthy and successful people, not all of them, but a lot of them say, find something that you love. And so like even with YouTube, I love to learn and to think and to teach and to share and to grow and help other people together. And so I've been able to post every single day because I love it. And so I obviously haven't made money from it or anything, but I love it. And so I'm able to do it. And so Patrick Mahomes, it takes a lot of hard work to get to the NFL and to get to 3 Super Bowls, to win 3 Super Bowls and to be in multiple Super Bowls in such a short amount of time that he has. And so it really helps if you love the game, you love what you do, you love the field or wherever you are in, and that will help you to be able to put more work in to then eventually be able to make more money. I don't know this couple super well, and so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like they invest in their family, they invest in themselves, their health, and they try to take care of themselves. So I'm sure it's not perfect, but those are things that are super admirable. It's not just about having the money. It's about investing in friendships. It's investing in the people that you work with and giving back. Even like Christmas presents for his teammates and stuff Patrick Mahomes will give, or they spend time with their beautiful children and each other. And so that is so helpful. And a lot of people that I've studied that I respect and that I typically share about, like Jesse Itzler, Sarah Blakely, they're good in multiple buckets. It's not just about the money. It's, hey, they might have a good wealth for themselves, but they also give back. They also have a good relationship or take time for each other. They take time for their kids and help support their kids and their family members, right? And so it's that whole well-rounded being and taking care of your health that makes life more enriching and beautiful. Not everyone can do this, but this is a big tip from a lot of really, really wealthy people. And Tony Robbins talks about this, and he talks about it in his new book that just came out. But it's about owning sports teams. We talk about ownership. You want to own businesses, you want to own assets, you want to own investments, real estate, things of that nature. But a big one is actually sports team, and a lot sports teams, and a lot of really rich and successful people own sports teams, like Ryan Reynolds. They own sports teams. David Beckham owns a sports team. But Brittney and Patrick Mahomes, so Brittney is a big part of this, and I could talk about this as well, but she was a former professional soccer player, and so she has a part ownership and stake in the Kansas City women's team, soccer team. They also have multiple other sports teams that they are part owners of and invested in, which is huge, and that's a great asset. And it's cool because it's in their wheelhouse. Like, they like sports, they have enough money, and so they're putting the money in and supporting the sports, supporting the fans, supporting all of that, but then they're also making money as well. Also have some supercars, so they do have some really nice stuff. And typically for the average American and the average person, the number one wealth killer is your car. And so buying a new car, it depreciates almost like 60% in 5 years. And so that's why typically you don't have to get a beater car if you don't want to. And I have a story on that when I did get one and we had to end up selling it. And then we ended up getting a used car, but that was only a few years old. And so this is critical because it loses its value. Like, you're paying $50,000 and then it's going to be worth $25,000 in 5 years or whatever. So if you just bought a 5-year car, typically it's 3 to 5 years, then you will end up paying less and you will not have to lose all that depreciation. And honestly, it's just transportation, and a lot of people overspend on that. So we could talk about more on that. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below. But they have supercars, and so they have the money to do this. And a lot of really successful people, they end up investing in a supercar. Part of it is that they could rent it out and they could make their money back, but they also can go to cool networking events and be around people who are wealthier, who do own businesses, who do have a higher net worth. And so they can make these connections, because networking is really important. And I've noticed with Patrick Mahomes is typically, like, as a quarterback, as a leader, he typically, I'm sure he's not perfect, but does try to lead and lead by example, and really works with his team and is a good leader, which is really critical as well. If you want to build wealth and keep wealth, you want to have self-control and good leadership qualities as well. Patrick and Brittney Mahomes also are really involved with charities and giving back. And this is really important. And typically, like, yes, you can get tax write-offs for doing that and for helping people. And so, yes, it can benefit you as well. But we're also about helping other people and people who are struggling or people who need support. And if you have the money to do so, why not do it? And that's one thing I talk about on the channel. One reason that I would love to have more money and I'm working on building that significant amount of wealth for ourselves is so that we can do more and we have more money and more opportunities to help more people. Lastly, I would say that he put the time in to get good. So typically wealth happens over time. He didn't just start playing football when he was a kid and make this salary, right? And $45 million to get to the Super Bowls. He got good, right? So if you have a high value skill, which being an elite quarterback, if not the best or one of the best of all time, that's a really high valuable skill, right? Like the NFL, they make a lot of money. I could put how much here for people watching them or buying their products and things like that. It's a money making business. It's also an entertainment. But if you have a high value skill, you can get paid more, right? And so think about what high value skill could you acquire or that you already have. The other part is it takes time. Like I was saying, he didn't make this money from the start. He had to keep practicing and going. And eventually he got to a point. He is still pretty young to be making $45 million, but he did it. And it took the time. He started when he was so young. And so be willing to put the time in to get enough skills to get paid and to get the money that you're looking for. All right, so let me know in the comments below if you like videos like this. I do enjoy doing these sometimes. I have one on like attention and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift brought a lot more attention to the Chiefs, and I could do a video on how much money she brought in, which is crazy. I have a video on Crocs if you're interested in that, and Mariah Carey, how one song changed her life and makes her millions of dollars every single year just around Christmas time. So check those out if you like. Feel free to join the channel. Let me know in the comments below what videos you want to see next, and I will see you in the next video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share, and follow for more. I will see you soon. Bye, guys.